Our system isn't flawed, it's working exactly as it was designed to. And that's the problem. Because if you've ever felt like something was off, it's not you, it's the system we live in. And as long as we keep trying to fix ourselves inside this broken system, we're not going to get anywhere. And until we understand that, we're going to keep trying to fix ourselves inside of a broken system meant to keep us fragmented. This modern world is not designed for human flourishing and advancement, it's designed for human extraction. So the question doesn't just end with how do I fix my own life, how do I get my life in order? It also revolves around what sort of world or environment would produce strong, healthy, spiritually attuned, mentally clear and vibrant human beings able to build new cities, build this new earth and create new advancements, create new ideas, and just like imagine a world where we don't have to worry about scarcity and harsh and struggle and fighting and warfare, and we could just focus on the greatness of the human potential, and that's just what everyone is dedicated to in their own unique way. That's the world we're trying to build. It starts with understanding the tools of control that have got us into this situation so we can reverse that. And there are three tools I'm going to talk about, or three steps that the system uses to keep us to keep us locked into smallness, to keep us distracted and not tuned into our higher power or potential. So the first one is self-mastery, the second one is community, and the third one is direction. And so the first one with self-mastery, they first started the sense of control through our health systems, our education systems, and all the things that affect our day-to-day life. They wrote a narrative in which we believe we have to eat 3 meals a day. We believe we need all these extra things, which created us as consumers and prevented us from really being able to tune into self-mastery. So most people don't have discipline. Most people, they have health issues. Most people aren't sure where they want to go in life because they aren't attuned with themselves. They don't have that self-control. And really, it all starts with the individual. A nation, a community starts with the individual. When each person is rooted in themselves and to tapped into their own self-expression, they are in a state of freedom. And when you have a group of people like that, that's the true community. And so they broke people down from an individual level. And in fact, this is something I'm extremely passionate because it's something I realized at a young age when I was just out of high school and wanting to build a new world and have a revolution to change the way we live, in a higher principle with community. And I quickly saw that, like, wow, the way we live is just so disconnected with the truth, with the natural law. And it's not like it just somehow this happened, but this is clearly controlled and measured. And the thing is that what I found to work are meditation, clean eating, exercise, discipline, in these different tools. And as I started to tap into that sense of self-mastery, when all those pieces are aligned, that feeling is like when you have like the perfect day, you wake up on time, you hit your morning routine, and just everything is flowing. Yeah, that's the experience that we can have all the time, is when we're locked into the way that spirit, the way that God wants us to live. And the people, the evil forces, the controllers don't want us to tap into our natural design. And so we need to choose, do we want to remain as sheep or step into our power as lions, as spiritual warriors? And that leads to the second step, is that when you start to step into your power as a spiritual warrior, you recognize that the best way to combat, and we have to recognize this is spiritual warfare. This is what's happening. So the best way to be an active participant for the forces of light, to bring in more light into this world, is through community, because they have systematically divided us. Divide and conquer is one of the oldest tactics of the game that they use, and divide and conquer breaks up communities. And that's what you see today, where we can all live in a neighborhood, we all have our own house, but yet you don't even know each other's name. Like, that's the level that you can live right next to someone, not even know them. Think about the disconnection that is. But that's totally it's totally off. And when we are stepping into our power as spiritual warriors, we need to recognize that community is a thing that they really don't want to happen, because we can come together, and you have to understand that we are the majority, right? Because I always say, the elite are just the 1%, they're the 0.1%. So if that just means there are 100,000 people and there are eight, whatever the math looks like, it's really illogical that somehow that small amount of percentage can control everyone else. Is because we give the power to them, we surrender that. And so when we create community, we bring power back to ourselves and back to the individual, and then the true community, the groups of individuals. And so community also creates an environment, a place where people who are needing the spirit of self-mastery to come into. Like, that's why I've created an awesome free community, online, so that people can tap into this and be able to level up and improve their self-mastery. And so this is the power of communities, creating spaces for people to step into their God-given potential and unlock their divine design, really. And then the third point is really the absence of purposeful structure, meaningful structure. And what I mean by this is that, we've been led to believe that government, leadership, and all these things are evil and, aren't good for us, and we just need to be anarchists and be on the opposite extreme. But the thing is that if you've ever experienced your own life, when you don't have any boundaries, any schedule, you don't really get much done. You think, you think that schedules are limiting, but it really unlocks. And so in this sense, the right amount of boundaries actually enables greater freedom, greater creativity. And so that is really the understanding and the importance behind structure, because the other side of this is that most people, the structure we do have in the world today guides us to the wrong paths and intentionally hides or veils the sort of structures that would, like, for example, the sort of educational structures like the schooling system, that if the system was designed properly, that taught us how to meditate, taught us how to live in harmony with ourselves, be able to not identify with our thoughts and have mastery of our thoughts, if it taught us how to understand business and how to give value to other people and to serve other people at scale, then we would have a totally different life. And so there's a reason why they don't teach this thing. There's a reason why they hide this sort of knowledge that should be commonplace for everyone. Every citizen on this earth should understand these sorts of things. And structures exist, institutions exist for the purpose of making that available. That's the whole reason why institutions exist, and the institutions we have today don't do that. In fact, they do the exact opposite of that. And so the solution that I want to propose are world cities, or conscious cities. And, I see a lot of this debate between communes and, really advanced, smart cities, and those two sort of worlds, right? And things that it's not that we need to shun technology or AI, and it's not that we need to go back to land and just be hippies. It's that we're coming to a converging point where the two worlds unite, and we live in nature, surrounded like natural surroundings like this. But we have Starlink, we have even better technology than Starlink. We have free energy, we have other tools that allows us to connect globally and to, again, tap into the human potential, because that's the age we live in. We live in the age of energy, and we need to embrace that and understand how to harness energy properly. And harnessing energy starts with understanding ourselves and our own personal self-discipline and self-mastery. And so these world cities that I'm talking about are going to be the cities of the future, the new earth cities, where there's going to be, institutions of learning where people are coming together, of human advancement. There's going to be the cutting edge science with the latest of, farming and gardening using sound and other technologies. And it's just a space where there are no borders in the sense that we live in today. And it's going to shift the system and the influence, so to speak, because when you realize how much more meaningful life is living together with other people, contributing towards something greater than yourself, nothing beats that. And the more and more people that wake up to this reality, the less and less power the system has, because but in truth, they don't have any power over us. We are the ones that give them power. We're the ones who install them. And so when we take back the power and we really choose in small community settings, individuals who with upright conduct who can represent the collective, that's the true harmony, because it's not about the absence of leadership, it's about the spiritualization of leadership, and that's what the world needs today. And for those called to a spiritual warrior path, that spiritualized leadership is something that you probably feel close at home to, that you're one of the people in your friends group that you're out trying to do community, you're trying to push the group towards this sort of way of life. If this resonates with you, you're probably one of the rainbow warriors spoken of in a Hopi prophecy, coming here to bring these new earth communities, these world cities, and changing our society, our global society, for the better. This mission resonates with you, if this vision resonates with you, I'm making more content like this every day, ideally. So please like and subscribe, and comment any feedback or different ideas to talk about, or things that just light you up when it comes to community and a new alternative system.